You're at 2-Drop Tribal MTG. Hey, so today I'm bringing you guys a deck that I'm really excited about. This is something of a pet deck of mine. I've been working on it for a number of weeks now. And I think it's a really powerful deck that's pretty well situated in the current format due to the meta being dominated basically by Storm and Affinity, at least from the last couple of tournament results we've seen. So this deck is, I think, technically supposed to be called Blue-White Caw-Blade. Caw-Blade is named after caw, the birds, like the sound of bird mates, caw. We have our titular bird here. This is Squadron Hawk. Squadron Hawk is our 2-drop of the deck. It's the reason this deck is part of our 2-drop tribal channel. Squadron Hawk is a 2-mana flying 1/1, and when you play your first Squadron Hawk, you can search your library for the other 3 Squadron Hawks, reveal them, put them in your hand, and then shuffle. It's the caw part of Caw-Blade. The blade part is that we're running some equipment that we can put on our Squadron Hawk to make it hit a little bit harder. The classic version of this deck that was played in Standard ran, I think, Sword of Fire and Ice. That's definitely better than Sylvok Lifestaff or Bone Splitter, but these are about as good as it gets for Pauper. Attacking with a flying 3/1 every single turn will shut the door on our opponents pretty quickly. So the rest of the deck is basically cards that synergize really well with Squadron Hawks or our Blades, or cards that are effectively support and control cards for the meta. So we're running a whole Faeries package. We're running Fairy Seer and Spellstutter Sprite. These are a relatively new addition to the deck. The Fairies package, Fairy Seer, just a 1/1 when it enters the battlefield, you scry 2, which helps set up future draws. And Spellstutter Sprite, which classic counter spell on a stick. This is a Pauper staple. Flash Flying counters a spell, mana value extra less, where X is number of fairies you control. These are both great tempo, card advantage type plays, while simultaneously also being cards that are great at carrying a Bone Splitter or a Sylvok Lifestaff. We're also running, I moved them over here just to try and organize my thoughts here, 3 Trinket Mages. So Trinket Mage is an all-star in this deck. It's a 2/2 that always draws another card, essentially, because you can search your library for a 1 or less mana value artifact and reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle. The main purpose for these is to tutor up Bone Splitter or Sylvok Lifestaff. However, we're also running 3 artifact lands, including one of the new indestructible artifact duels. It can tutor these. We can also tutor a Court Homunculus, which basically just comes down as a 1-mana 2/2 most games, which, you know, basically 2 white-blue for 2 2/2 bodies, not a bad rate for Pauper. We're running 4 Brainstorm. So Brainstorm and Squadron Hawk is an absolutely insane effect. Basically, if we have a Brainstorm and a Squadron Hawk in our hand, that's representing 6 cards that we're going to add to our hand over the next few turns. So what you do is you play the first Squadron Hawk, you get his 3 buddies, and then you cast a Brainstorm. You draw 3 cards, put 2 of the Squadron Hawks back on top of your library, and then you play the second Squadron Hawk, and you tutor the 2 cards. They're both Squadron Hawks, and now they're sitting on top of your library, but you tutor them into your hand. So you keep all 3 cards that you drew with the Brainstorm, and you keep all 3 Squadron Hawks, which is a really powerful synergy, and one that it's a little bit more difficult to pull off in Eternal formats, but which we're going to be able to abuse here for some pretty powerful effect. 2 Ponder, just to round out the cantrip suite. I think this is an important card to have to make sure that we're able to keep a lot of our opening hands. 1, Ephemerate. All of our creatures in this deck have powerful enter the battlefield abilities, especially Spellstutter Sprite, which is a really fun Ephemerate target. Basically, we can just use this to dodge a removal spell or buy back and enter the battlefield if something's going awry. 4 Thraben Inspectors and Palace Sentinels, effectively as creatures that threaten to attack that can trade off with our opponents in combat, but that also can block very well and also effectively replace themselves when they enter the battlefield, which I think is really powerful. A funkier card in this list that I've started adopting recently and I've just been consistently impressed by, and I may go even more up on these in the future. I started at 1, I definitely want to start playing 2, is Resculpt. You exile a creature or artifact, and then its controller makes a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. So we can use this in a number of different ways. If our opponents are playing a combo deck, we can shrink basically we can hit their creature that's part of the combo, like resculpt their Atog. They get a 4/4, sure. We have flyers, so we don't necessarily care as much about creatures on the ground, but also it interrupts their combo, which at least buys us a turn. We can also use it to hit one of our own creatures, a Fairy Seer that isn't necessarily needed to trigger a Spellstarter Sprite, or the one I'm really excited about is Thraben Inspector or the Thraben Inspector Clue. We can suddenly have a 4/4, represent 5 damage a turn starting turn 2. We start having a lot faster of a clock to end our opponent's life with, just by having a bigger creature in play. We can also use this in response to a removal spell, so maybe they cast a Murder on our Trinket Mage, we can resculpt it, turn it into a 4/4. And then to finalize the main deck, a pretty straightforward for Journey to Nowhere. This is just an enchantment for 2 mana in white that exiles target creature. I almost have not had anyone actually get rid of my journeys, so for the most part when the creature's exiled, it stays exiled. And then 3 counter spells. I was going to go a little bit higher on these originally with the list. I think 3 is correct. It's a little bit taxing on our mana for the amount of value it provides. Counterspell is more of a late game play than it is an early game play in this deck. And then a mana base with Ash Barrens and Evolving Wilds and some dual lands. We're running the life lands because this deck can run a little bit low on life in order to support casting our blue and our white spells. So the sideboard is largely tailored for the current metagame. So I'm running 2 disenchants. Disenchants are good against Boggles. They're also great against Affinity, both of which are pretty heavily represented in the current metagame. I'm running 2 Dust to Dust. These exile 2 target artifacts. Once again, Affinity is very much so overrepresented in this post-Modern Horizons 2 era. Affinity got a bunch of new good cards. They're going to play a lot of artifact creatures. Dust to Dust gets rid of 2 of their biggest threats at once, which is really powerful. Burn is also very popular because there's more and more combo decks, less and less fair decks and control decks. White has almost entirely fallen off of the map, which means that Burn is back on the map. So Lone Missionary is our primary effective choice. However, I'm also running a Martyr of Sands because if I manage to tutor up some Squadron Hawks, I can sack this to gain 9, which seems really powerful to me. I personally am really bad at playing against Burn. I do not have a positive win rate. I lose almost every time. I'm looking to try and shore that up a little bit with this 4 dedicated anti-Burn sideboard slots. I'm running 3 Echoing Truth. We do have a pretty good game against Chatterstorm, but just in case some of the squirrels want to stick around, I want to Echoing Truth their squirrels back into their hand, and then the tokens disappear, and hopefully they don't have enough gas to go off again, and we're representing a pretty big threatening board. 2 Hydroblast and a Dispel. Hydroblast comes in against Affinity to hit a Tog. It also comes in against Burn or Is It Fairies. Dispel comes in against Delver or any sort of control mirror where they're going to be trying to cast a lot of instants. And then to round it out, Relic of Progenitus. This is just a really powerful graveyard hate effect that is a tutorable target for Trinket Mage. I originally had one in the main board. We're not seeing a lot of graveyard decks in the format anymore since Modern Horizons 2 came out. Squirrel Storm is a faster clock than everything else in the game. People aren't really trying to recurve value out of their graveyard. They're trying to survive a bunch of squirrels smacking them in the face, which means that Relic is for the most part off of the game. But if we happen to match up against something like Boros Monarch or Boros Bully or even Tron, Relic is an absolute house against them. So this is the deck. I've been calling it Blue-White Faeblade to differentiate it from Blue-White Caw-Blade, which was the name of my original list that didn't include a Faeries package. Let's go ahead and take our Blue-White Faeblade, Caw-Fade, whatever you want to call it. We're running Faeries, we're running Squadron Hawks, we're playing Pauper. We're going to go ahead and jump into a league and see if we can pick up some matches. I've had really good results with this deck in testing. Some of the more difficult matchups for it are Storm is actually fine. It's the Walls combo decks. Altasaur is a huge problem for this list. So we're a very controlling deck. This deck does really well at trading off very aggressively with our creatures. So it's pretty common play pattern that I'll have a Trinket Mage, put Bone Splitter on it, and then use Trinket Mage to trade with a 4/4. But Altasaur is really too big for our creatures to trade with. So the Annoyed Althasor decks being in a lot of ways shoved out of the format from Chatterstorm just being a more dominant, more prevalent deck was actually a really good thing for us here. And obviously, Dust to Dust is an insane card against Affinity. Being able to get rid of 2 of their 7/7s is, for a single card, is an absolute blowout. And we have a match. It's probably Burn. It's been Burn almost every other time. I almost always game 1 is Burn. I don't know what my luck is with these leagues. Okay. Single land, pair of Brainstorms. I do like seeing a Squadron Hawk early. We're going second. So I have 2... I'm going to see 4 cards, and if there's a land in the first 4 cards, we're fine. This is a risky keep, and I'm going to risky keep it. And let's see what our opponent is up to. Also, as a general notice, I obviously have a new recording setup. I switched up my microphone input. I switched up... I moved, so now I have a new house. And I also changed... now video feed in the top right-hand corner. Okay, we didn't find a land. The Ponder's good, though. And it looks like our opponent is on Affinity. Let's go ahead and draw that island. If this is like the other Affinity lists I've seen, they basically start to go off on turn 3 or 4. We know what our next 2 draws are. If they don't do much of anything, I'm going to Brainstorm. That's not much of anything. Otherwise, I'm going to go for Counterspell. That's 6. God, this creature's so big. I kind of just want to counter it. I'm just going to counter it. And I'm glad I did, but this is potentially even scarier. All right, never punished. I'm going to make sure I put Squadron Hawk back on bottom. Let's Journey that Gear Seeker Serpent. Deck really showing off how powerful it is right now. I kept a 1-lander. We've run a lot of cards. Looks like I'm going to be able to pull off the Squadron Hawk combo next turn. Don't love that. I have land on top. Oh, missed the third one. How can I make this bigger? Okay. So what I'm thinking now is, what I'd like to do is either counter their removal spell if they happen to go for one, or if they don't really make any plays, I'm just going to resculpt the Squadron Hawk and trade it off with the Sojourner's Companion. I don't know, I guess I'm not in lethal range yet. I'll let him get in for 6. I can't take too many hits like that. But the fact that they haven't cast anything is making me feel a lot more confident about holding up Spell Stutter for the rest of the turn. What you got for me, opponent? 4? Draw 2 cards off Witching Well. Okay. And let's go ahead and make our bird a 4/4. Okay, so I can get a blade, or I can do the brainstorm squawks thing. I'm going to do the brainstorm squawks thing. Okay, we're keeping all of these cards. Like seeing counterspell there. I'm going to go tap, tap, Hawks. I'm going to hold up double blue for the counterspell. It's a little weird, but I do want to attack here, actually. I'm worried that if I don't pressure their life total, that they're going to just apply so much pressure on mine that I get in a position where I'm effectively stuck. I want to counterspell that so bad. I want to counterspell that, but if they have Fling-a-Tog, I'm dead. So I can't counterspell the Thoughtcast on the off chance that they have Fling-a-Tog in their hands. And they know I'm a blue deck. I will chump here. It's a little funky. I'm just going to run out Spell Stutter here. Nice. Wow. Okay, that was terrible timing on my part. Let's get a Thraben Inspector on board. Go another island here. And I think I want to play Squadron Hawk. Are we missing one? No, do we have one in exile? Is this exile? Oh, we exiled our own. Got it, got it. Took me a minute. Yeah, we resculpted our Squadron Hawk. Get in there, Spell Stutter. And I am just going to hold up Counterspell this whole round. Raven Inspector is going to chump Sojourner's Companion. Don't love that I'm almost just in burn range. Yeah, they definitely have the advantage on the board right now. Love seeing Witching Well getting some play. This was an absolute all-star in Throne of Eldraine. Just a 1 blue, enters the battlefield, scry 2, which you can pay for, sack it, draw 2 cards. Like that. He has drawn so many cards. Luckily, I had just the thing for Gear Seeker Serpent. I'm suspicious that maybe his deck isn't even running Fling-a-Tog. Life Staff seems really good here. Let's go for Life Staff. Do you want another bird? I think I want Seer. These next 2 draws are going to be really important. Okay, I want both of those. With Journey on top. Then let's get that Life Staff out. And throw it on... I think this Trinket Mage. Yeah, and honestly, if he has the combo here, he has the combo. That wasn't it. That's not it. Yeah, what a board he's presenting though. So he's a very aggressively focused Affinity build. Don't think I can take 4. I'm gonna trade off here. Three life gain feels good. Okay, so we're maybe getting ourselves out of the hole a little bit here. Journey feels good. I'm just gonna hit one of the Mirror Enforcers. Oh, it's asking if I want to sack a clue. Was he gonna fling it? Is this a fling? So we had Journey Resculpt on top, so our next draw is a Resculpt. Yeah, there's a fling. Flinging at Spell Stutter? I think I'm fine with that. Okay, and then I'd really like to take this next clue and resculpt it. Happy to make that trade. Yeah, I'm gonna pop this next clue. Oh, Trinket Mage, you're so good right now. Tight game. I think I want Court Homunculus here, just have another body. Bone Splitter is also pretty good here. I'm going to go for the Court Homunculus. Then I might as well cast it, right? Get in with my bird. Yeah, so one of the things I may have mentioned about this deck, but what I really like about it is that every single creature replaces itself in combat, which is frankly just really powerful. I think I need this thing off the board. Let's go for a double block. He's probably just going to bolt in response. Single block, single block. Let's do it like this. I guess I don't need to block here. Let's do it like this. I'll take the 4. I'm not in fling range. Nice. Okay, these are both really good. I think I want to draw them in this order. Brainstorm first. I'm not playing Squadron Hawks. Let's move Lifestaff onto this Hawk. Go to combat. Attack with it. In for 2. And then I'm going to resculpt a land. And I'll do it as a surprise blocker. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Wow, those are brutal. Unblockable 5/6. I don't got that kind of life. Okay, declare attackers. Okay, let's go ahead and do the thing we talked about. I think he has a blast in his hand. That's fine. Nice. Okay, and then I need this brainstorm to do some heavy lifting here. Good start, good start. I think put him back like this. Oh, I needed Seer. I needed Seer. Now if I ponder, I'm just going to see Fairy Seer again. That was dumb. Well, let's do it anyways. Okay, I know I don't want Ash Barrens. Do I go any order just to try and get something different than this Gear Seeker Serpent? No, let's get that Fairy Seer in play. And then this is completely arbitrary. I can't block the Gear Seeker anyways. Wow, Thoughtcast is really good here. Okay. I can deal with Gear Seeker Fling right now. If he specifically has Fling and Galvanic Blast, I'm fucked. Do I counter that? I don't think so. I need a Trinket Mage here. He's just drawing so many flipping cards. Uh-oh. Second Gear Seeker. Okay, the old unblockable. We expected that. Well, we need to find an answer next turn. I have exactly one turn to not die to this. And it was a land. I knew it was a land. Why was I expecting something other than a land? Okay, I guess we have 2 turns. We have 2 turns. We don't die to Blast or Fling. We do die to Double Blast, or Blast and Fling. Yeah, wow, this was a really close game. No matter how this ends, I'm pretty happy with how it went. Yeah. Go to 1. Edge of my rope, man. Okay, should I have flashed out Spell Setter there? Answer is no. Would have died. No, he has a second one. Oh, man. I'll take it. Wow, what a game. Wow. So what do we want here? We want Dust to Dust. I want Disenchant. I want Hydroblast. I don't think I need to spell. What isn't good? Don't like Bone Splitter. I usually go for Pal Sentinels in these early cuts. Drawing extra cards is important, but in this particular matchup, I think it's something of a liability to have just a big 2/4 down. Ephemerate is not going to do it. There's no creature that flickering is going to like change the outcome of the game, I don't think. Resculpt felt really good when I was able to use it. And I have to cut something else. And I don't want to cut anything else in my deck. I could get rid of Life Staff. Maybe I keep Bone Splitter. Cut Life Staff. He is an aggressive deck, but he's not a full-on burn deck. I guess both resculpts can go, because that's sort of an awkward... Oh, but I could do it after blockers are declared. This is hard. I'll cut one of the counter spells. These are excellent because they answer creatures or spells on the stack. And then one other card. One of the Thraben Inspectors. Thraben Inspector seems pretty underwhelming here. A little iffy on the life staff call. I'm just going to run it like this. I think this is just about as good as we can get. That is a terrible hand, though. I need land. Okay, this is closer. Hopefully our artifact deck opponent isn't running artifact hate. Finding the second white is going to be really important. I think I bottom Thraben Inspector. Keep all the unique cards. Well, we are lower on time than I thought we were. Oh, nice. Do I go Evolving Wilds? I think I do. Get that second white. I think I'm just going to brainstorm here. Holy shit. All right. We are going to be cooking with fire here. I'm getting all of these cards. Let's put back the ones I don't want right away. And back like that. Okay, and then I have to make a choice here. We can just exile his 2 lands. No, look, I don't have to go after his lands. Because he does have a creature now. But I'm totally going to go after his lands. Indestructible, me to exile. I hope he doesn't have another land. Oh man, that felt so good. Okay, well, he's still in it. He's got a bunch of Frogmites. I'm impressed with how well he's kept in this game, actually. Like, we did just get rid of both of his mana sources. And we're drawing a land. Nice. So now I have to decide if I want to Dust to Dust or Thraben Inspector Resculpt. I think I want a Thraben Inspector Resculpt. He is in Mirror Enforcer range. So the reason I didn't just pop off Dust to Dust again is because I'm cognizant of the fact that he may be playing some Mirror Enforcers this next turn. Okay. What do we have? Another Brainstorm. Let's fire it off. Well, it's not necessarily what I wanted to draw, but it's what I got. I think I put back like this. And then I'm actually going to Dust to Dust again. This is just setting them back. It's not necessarily proactively winning the game. But because of how much it sets them back, I think we're generating some real advantage here. taps it for mana, poor guy. Okay, we were never blocking anyways. So what I'm trying to do and why I keep blowing up his mana sources is not only am I trying to keep the more expensive cards off the board, I'm also trying to keep him off this Witching Well. Because that Witching Well is pretty backbreaking for us. Journey's good. Okay. What do I not want? Well, I kind of want all of these. What a problem to have. I think I put back these two. I want Resculpt. I'm casting Resculpt this turn. So I don't need Razor Tide or Journey, I think is the answer there. Take two. This clue is not meant for the world. Okay, nice. We got the scoop. Wow, what a game. Dust to dust on the mana base. Turn 3, dust to dust. Let's get it. I almost feel guilty about the things that happened in that game. And what's crazy is how close game 1 was too, right? Yeah, Resculpt is a powerhouse in this matchup. Because of his Gear Seeker Serpents, because he has 5/6s that we can shrink, we actually have legitimate targets on the other side of the board. He's running Fling, which means he has a Togs, we just haven't seen him. I can finally keep my opening hand. Don't love leading on a life land. This is going to be really slow. I'm hoping to get off an early Spell Stutter Sprite on something that's valuable. Basically, he has Galvanic Blast, Fling, and the mana tapping artifacts that this hits. Nice. Do I just hold up Spell Stutter, or do I jam Fairy Seer or Thraben Inspector? The scariest thing coming next turn is Frogmite. That's the thing I'm just going to pass. I can easily jam Spell Stutter and Thraben Inspector next turn. Give me that Mana Rock. Don't give me a Gear Seeker Serpent. I swear to God, if this is a Gear Seeker. Can't stop Thoughtcast. Card's a blowout. Can't stop that. I'm super impressed with the way his deck is built around those Witching Wells. Okay, I can blow up a mana source and play a threat. Or I can just try and hold up interaction. I think we all know what I'm doing here. I just don't know what the right play is. I'm going after that Seat of the Synod. It's too fun blowing up lands. Yeah, let's get after it. I wanted to keep the removal spell because I currently don't have anything that gets rid of something that resolves in my hand, and we are in Gear Seeker Serpent territory, which I am not excited about. No lucky Resculpt off the top this time. And go ahead. Wow, he's hitting land drops. All those indestructible lands. Look at this mana base. We can't spell stutter any creatures. Of course he has it. Card is so scary. Nothing else, huh? Let's pop that clue. Let's land cycle. An island. Ooh, we got the combo. I think it might be better to just hold up spell stutter here for a couple turns. I don't know, or it could be like last turn where he doesn't play anything that's worth spell stuttering. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep holding up spell stutter. Yep. Affinity confirmed. Jesus. I just want to get a blocker down. That's why I played that like that. Okay, I need to draw a removal spell or a dust to dust last turn. So we did the thing. It drew us 2 lands and a Fairy Seer. We're still getting in for 3 a turn, which feels good. He has a massive board, which feels bad. Is this really... Okay, it's just unblockable. Yeah, yeah. That was expected. That's for 9. I counterswing for 5. I think I'm currently winning this race. Oh man, another brainstorm. Okay, that's a really good draw. Let's Fairies here. Don't want these. Now let's brainstorm. Awesome. Put back Squawks and the other Fairy Seer. Journey Gear Seeker. Disenchant the other one. Yeah! Woo! Affinity, best deck in the format. Best deck in the format, right? Wow. Okay, so we were able to, first game, take him in a really tight race. Basically, we just didn't have enough removal spells for the density of threats they were throwing on the board. Had a couple semi-awkward draws, made a misplay early on with a resculpt. Okay, so second game, basically used Dust to Dust to get them off their indestructible mana base. 2 Dust to Dust in the first couple turns against Affinity is absolutely backbreaking. And then also just buried them in card advantage, right? We were able to get down early threats. They scooped to the resculpt because they had no lands. We had a 4/4, just super far ahead. And then that third game, they flooded out a little bit. They drew a lot of land and didn't have any early threats. We were able to resolve early flying creatures, which could fly in over their attackers. And then, yeah, that card advantage engine that is Brainstorm, Squadron Hawks, and the Faeries, I think just really buried our opponent. And the 2 removal spells at the end when we had a board full of flyers was pretty insane. That's exactly what this deck is trying to do. I would like to see how many cards we drew off of Brainstorm Squadron Hawks that game. That'll be a fun one to watch in the replay. Well, we had 4 cards on the sideboard for Affinity, and it turns out they work. Okay, looks like we've got another match. Great way to start off the league with an absolute stomping of Affinity. This hand has 3 brainstorms and no way to shuffle. I think this is super risky of just locking ourselves into looking at lands. This is a much more safe keep. I'm going to bottom Evolving Wilds. I think that's the worst land in our hand here. Excited to have Brainstorm Squadron Hawks. Might just be brainstorming for a land. I'm sorry, a spell. We're playing against another Affinity variant. Well, that's good. I have something for them. Okay, another Squadron Hawk off the top is absolutely not where I want to be. I need action spells. Not more birds. You never want to draw more than the first Squadron Hawk, right? This may be an entire league of us playing against Affinity. We'll see what happens, but I have my suspicions. Oh, I'm doing this wrong. So the good news is we get to keep this hand and all the cards are good. The bad news is I really don't want to be holding up interactive spells because I don't want to draw 2 more Squadron Hawks. So I'm just going to jam Hawks for now and hope that this plays out fine. I need more land. There's an off chance we get punished really bad for this. If we don't draw a land next turn, I'm just going to Thraben Inspector pass. Yeah, wow, like this. Witching Well takes this deck and turns it to 11, which I'm really excited about. I think that's a really cool tech for them to adopt. I mean, obviously we're jumping through a lot of hoops to try and beat them. And in a lot of ways, they're just doing what they've always done. Oh my god. What is this build right now? Okay, so do I try and dig for removal? Or do I just try and chump for a couple turns and trust the deck to play it out? I really think I need to journey this Gear Seeker. But I'm kind of scared that they just have another one. Let's just play this, fetch a white. I know I need more white mana. Oh, this is tough. I'm going to play Thraben Inspector. I think this has higher upside because now I can pop the clue and draw a card if they don't do anything. I can still block Gear Seeker Serpent for a turn. So I do want to get in. Next turn we need removal though. We need removal so bad. Please do not play another Gear Seeker. My heart can't take another Gear Seeker. No brainer block. Yeah, what an aggressive slant for this deck. They're just dropping fatties. And they're playing bad cards to do it. I'm going to counterspell that. Okay, deck, I need removal. That is almost a great hand. Not removal. So I can play Sentinels right now. They will get in for damage. I don't love that. Wait, I know the Squawks jump for a turn. I think that's the correct play, but man, it doesn't have a very high upside. I'm gonna tutor, find nothing. This is my my cat visiting. Say hi to Kung Pao the cat. Not gonna cast any spells here. I really just need to stabilize. They're gonna draw 2 cards off their Witching Well and 1 off the Chromatic Star. Wow. Okay, and I can't counter that. Where's my removal? Do I need to just pack it up here? Yeah, their deck is insane. Maybe we're just playing against some sort of suboptimal Affinity build last time, because this feels like it's really just going off on us. Okay, once more though. We haven't drawn removal. Okay, you get to be the Monarch. Good job. Can't block that. We're definitely blocking a Tog. No fling, just taking 5. Oh, the journey's too late. Okay, well, let's still get it off. We have to hit Gear Seeker. It feels weird journeying Gear Seeker with a Tog on the battlefield. Life. Die to fling now. Let's just get down the last Squadron Hawk. I will be taking back the Monarch here. And we have the potential to stabilize here. Wow, another journey. Okay, okay. I don't love our position. I do not love our position, but this game is not over. I have to counter burn spells or fling. Let's do it like that. Please no fling. Please no fling. No fling. Don't fling it. Okay, he has something. Okay, well, we definitely took the beating that time. So at least we know what to bring in. and we know what to get rid of. So last time we cut a pair of Palace Sentinels. We cut Life Staff, I think. We cut Ephemerate. We cut 2 Thraben Inspectors. Did we cut 2 Thraben Inspectors or just the one? I think we cut a generic counterspell and kept it in a Thraben Inspector. Yeah, I think this is identical to our last sideboard plan, and I still think it's correct. So these are for the Atog. These are for their artifacts. We still keep all the journeys. We're now running, 4, 8, basically 10 hard removal spells against their deck. We can still lose to awkward draws, but I think this is a really powerful position to be in. I would like a keepable 7, please. Oh, deck, you're doing me dirty. Okay, this is awful. I think I'm going to keep it. We need to hit a brainstorm real early. Yeah, we're probably just losing to bad hands. That's my prediction here. Counterspell is really good. Okay, and we know he's not going to be online doing his thing for a couple turns still. So let's get some birds into play. Next turn, I'm just going to hold up counterspell. Prism, don't care. Do I want to be holding up counterspell, or do I want to play a Squawk Cycle Ash Barrens? What's he going to be at? He's going to be at 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to be at 7. No, I think I have to be ready for a whole bunch of 4/4s coming down. Well, let's see him. Not a 4/4. Potentially scarier. Both top, huh? My laundry's ready. Wow, another journey. Okay. We are sitting pretty with these. About to say, that's a weird counterspell. Yeah, that's fine. You can kill one of my birds. Birds are not the primary game plan right now. There's one. I can journey that. I'm going to counter that. Wow, is that really a red blast? Okay. Oh, Dust to Dust is awesome. Okay, so what can I do here? I can... Dust to Dust here and here. And Journey here. And we're getting him 1 damage at a time, baby. It's going fine. Everything's fine. Not a Squadron Hawks. Okay, I got what I wanted. Not a Squadron Hawks confirmed. So the good news is he has 1 card left in hand. He is going to draw 2 next turn. If he wants it. But then we're still up a turn. Okay, he's just drawn. I would like to be killing him faster. Trinket Mage. No. Don't want either of these. I have a bug on my screen. Go ahead and get rid of you. No shuffle that time. I really don't want to draw the Fairy Seer or the Evolving Wilds I just saw. And we're hoping Hydroblast can do the job here. I don't have another plan right now besides Hydroblast. Do I Hydroblast now or wait? I think I wait. If they go to fling this right now, this is going to be a blowout. No way. Oh, it's just 2 Atogs. Well, you don't love to see it. Should I have waited for the fling? I don't know the answer to that. What does this hit for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 16? So he has to have specifically fling and burn for me to die here. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. Nice. I just need to deal with that Atog. That doesn't deal with an Atog, but it is a good draw. I think it's Time Bone Splitter. I think you've been called. So the good news is we basically have them on a 2-turn clock now. Wow. What's he got? Okay, math. Okay. I think I'm taking 20. Did he do this math? Yeah, he did. If the last card in his hand is a fling, I'm not bitter. That was a very close game. I mean, he literally had to top deck a fling, right? Or a burn spell. Fling or burn. Am I really getting another turn? Holy shit. Oh, that's so bad. Okay. So now I need to be smart. I'm only swinging with the 1 bird. I'm not bluffing anything, opponent. I got 1 card. You know what my card is. No way. No! Oh no, I'm so upset. Oh wow. What a game. Okay, so yeah, needed a little bit more removal, needed a little bit more counter magic. The double Atog turn was pretty brutal because specifically I didn't have an answer to two Atogs. I still think I played that well. You could argue that maybe there were a couple turns that I should have held back differently, or I should have waited to Pyroblast the Fling or something like that. In my experience, having two Atogs on the board is pretty brutal to try and play against because you never know which one you should be blocking proactively versus right, like they basically have two lethal attackers that swing every single turn. So having to double chump in addition to being aware that they might fling either one of them is quite the beating. I think he drew that fling as his last draw. I guess he maybe scryed into it. I don't remember him hitting that kind of scry. Yeah, wow, pretty wild set of games there. Both of them, I think, were... The second one was winnable with slightly different draws. Yeah, and we had a pretty terrible starting hand, right? I think we just had Journey and Squadron Hawk. So the fact that we were able to go that long and nearly take him to clock without, only drawing one piece of artifact removal, not able to meaningfully counter any of their spells, I think is a pretty big testament to the deck. Right, they had excellent draws, and we had very much so mediocre draws. There's an argument that maybe I misplayed when I counterspelled the Thoughtcast. I don't think that was a misplay. It seems like them aggroing me out is the most likely way that I lose. I think it's important to try and control the pace of the game. That was pretty entertaining when we saw him run that math in his eyes, and he's like, wait, I'm actually about to hit for 21, not for lethal. And he did have to have specifically Fling or a burn spell in order to win at the end there. If he didn't have Fling or a burn spell, we were going to take it, right? So there's something to be said for that as well. And I think this is going to be the last game that I record from this league tonight. I'll probably come back with different lighting in the morning and go for the second set of games. I think this is a keepable hand. Lead on Razortide Bridge. Raven Inspector is live. Fairy Seer is live. I think I'm probably just going to go for a Fairy Seer next turn. Depends what he does. Okay, we are not playing Affinity, which is huge, because I'm tired of playing against Affinity. Just like everyone else that plays MTGO, right? We've been seeing a lot of it. I guess I'm fine with both of these. I do want to draw them in that order, though. Let's just present a little bit of board state here. I appear to have a miserable kitten behind me. Skyfisher? Yeah, okay, he's a Pestilence build. Well, these are always fun to play against. I think I'm gonna get a white mana here. I don't know why I didn't play my land. Should do that. And then I can Spell Stutter or Resculpt. Cat's making a lot of noises back there. Kittens get miserable at about 11 o'clock at night. Okay. Not my Majuka Bog, no. Pretty good draw. I'm tempted to brainstorm for a land here. I do sort of want to have interaction of... I'm kind of worried he just slams Pestilence. I guess it's not very good right now, but I can't remove it if it resolves. So I'm going to hold up a counterspell. None of that. Okay, and then I think I counter this. Because I certainly don't want him drawing more cards. Hey, buddy. What is he doing? Hey, get out of here. Okay, so it looks like maybe my initial read was bad and he's actually a Boros deck. I'm happy for Spellstutter to eat that counter. I'm still smacking him with a 4/4 every turn. I will be right back. Had to take care of that angsty cat. Wow. Pretty good brainstorm. Okay, I don't think I want the Faeries here. I don't really know if the Journey is going to do anything this matchup. We are presenting a pretty quick clock here, which I'm excited about. And we aren't just dead to Cannonade, which is also huge. Fairy Seer is good, but it doesn't replace itself. I think I need to hit like a Trinket Mage or the dude that grants Monarch, Palace Sentinels. I'd like to hit one of those here. I think I'm just going to counter this. Seems like an easy counter spell. Okay. Opponents seem to think about that a lot. Don't know what we could be doing for 1 black. We do have lethal on board. That's pretty cool. Good bolt. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle away that Fairy Seer now. He's going to scoop it up. So we know he's some kind of multicolor control. We saw Galvanic Blast, so we can expect a lot of artifacts out of him. I don't know if sideboarding like he's Affinity is correct. We didn't see any artifact lands, which is kind of telling. But if I do see artifact lands, these are going to be a blowout. I don't think I need Sentinels. If he's the deck I think he is, he's Mardu Monarch. So this deck runs Bajuka Bog, but other than that, it's like a Core Skyfisher, Glint Hawk, that type of deck. And they run so many flyers that I don't think our Palace Sentinels is where we want to be. I actually think Ephemerate's probably quite good here. I don't think I need Life Staff. I don't think he's killing me that fast. Resculpt is good because he's going to be trying to blow up so much of our stuff. It's worth noting that we didn't see any black spells. We saw white spells and red spells. So when they had black mana, he wasn't using it to cast anything. I think he also runs his own 3-man inspectors, but I definitely want to be more flyer heavy here. And then if I end up sideboarding the exact same way as last time, maybe we'll just make this the main deck. I don't know what else I want to get rid of. But a Fairy Seer, maybe? We do seem to be drawing a little bit too many of those. And let's hope that we can get this guy with Dust to Dust as well. Or to get got with Dust to Dust. Wow, that's a terrible hand. It's a great hand, but it's very weak to the exact same types of things that our opponent is doing. Definitely leading on Seer. Oh, hate to draw the second Squadron Hawk. I don't think I want a second Galvanic Blast. He really just wins burn spells with a bunch of white. Yeah, that. Burn spells with a bunch of white creatures. Ooh, we should have brought in the Echoing Truths, probably. I'm going to get an early Squadron Hawks down. He probably brought in Cannonades. And that's maybe a card that we need to be aware of and play around. We can do the Squadron Hawks trick next turn. I think this turn I'm just going to Fairy Seer. Actually, I think I want both of those. Maybe the order's kind of funky. Tell you what, let's draw the Hydroblast and not the other one. I don't really think it's worth his trouble to be abrading my small creatures like this. I was about to say, if he red blasts, I'm going to be so upset. I'm going to basic land cycle this for an island. Play the island. And then make sure that I'm not just going to draw a bunch of Squadron Hawks next turn. So what I really like about this deck, and what we saw a little bit earlier, but what we're seeing again here today, is that I'm applying a lot of early pressure while simultaneously having a big late game. It's not a horribly complicated deck. I mean, it just play flyers, draw cards. But I do think this is a powerful engine. I like the Trinket Mage. I'm hesitant to tap out, but I will. Well, let me think. I could just Trinket Mage fetch land. I really want to get a Blade, though. Does he have 2 artifacts I care about? No, I want to hit his artifact land. If he plays another artifact, I want to hit it. Right now, he's just going to pop the clue. Yeah, I'm just going to commit more flyers here. So we're killing him. We're just not killing him very fast. And I expect a Cannonade at some point in the near future. There's absolutely no way his deck is not playing at least 2 Fiery Cannonade in the sideboard. Which is honestly bizarre if you think about it. Like, he's also a small creatures deck. What you got for me? Skyfisher. Bounce Radiant Fountain. That's a really interesting play. Another Skyfisher? Another Thraben Inspector. Okay, I don't care about that. My clue. Spell Stutter is good. I think I really need to hit another land here. Oh, but I maybe just lose to... I'm going to Ponder. Hit a land. No lands. All of these cards are good. Get rid of Skyfisher. Hold up Hydroblast. Get that out of here. Yeah, I really would like to draw a 4th land. So we are definitely Trinket Maging for land next turn. This deck is sweet. Yeah, we expected that one. What you got for me, boss? Not a red land. No red land. No red. No red. No red. We don't like red land here. That was potentially a huge blowout, right? It is worth noting that Trinket Mage only fetches tapped lands right now. Maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. We have a lot of this game on lock. I think the correct play is actually Court Homunculus. Hold up Spell Stutter, Hydroblast, Resculpt. And I'm going to do that instead of what we just talked about. Because I don't think fetching a tapped land matters at this point. We are fairly far ahead in this game. That's good. Now I have 2 artifact lands I can blow up. I don't think he even has any like 4 mana spells. I don't care about that. What are you hitting? Oh, this is going to be sick. Don't think so. What if it was a 4/4 instead? This card is sweet. This is so good. Ooh. Ooh, tempt me. I'm so dead to Electrickery that I'm just gonna let this go. Yeah, because I absolutely cannot let an Electrickery resolve. And he is nowhere close to killing us. Okay, you can play as many of those as you want, man. Land. Not a land. Okay, Disenchant is really interesting. I want to hit his Prism, maybe? Journey, give back Court Homunculus. I mean, if I just attack him, he's dead in 2 turns. What you got, bud? Bolt. I have Spell Stutter almost specifically for that. Take 4. And then we can fade a Electrickery or a Fiery Cannonade. There's the 4th Raven Inspector. Hell yeah. 3 babies on the other side. You are currently seeing Faeries versus babies. And I think we're going to see a concede here. Unless he drew the nuts. It is 1 life. You need to gain more than 1 life to not lose. I do respect his attempts. Bone Splitter, sweet. Do I bother Bone Splittering or do I just go for the kill? Okay. That's impressive that he actually did draw removal. Our hand is pure fire. All right. That was an awesome round against Mardu Monarch. And I think I'm going to pack it up for the evening and record the other 2 matches tomorrow morning. But so far, pretty exciting league. We have seen some absolute gas come out of the 2 resculpts. I think they were good every single time I cast them. Even the time that I miscast it, it's still a removal spell. But we were able to get a pretty quick beatdown win the first game against Mardu Monarch there. Loving the Journey to Nowheres. Counterspell is actually kind of one of the more awkward cards in the deck, right? Because we have the ability to play reactively, but we really need to be far ahead on board state to be playing reactively like we want to. Some kind of medium on whether or not I think Counterspell is performing like I want it to. I mean, obviously it's Counterspell, so it's good. Like, when we kind of Gear Seeker Serpent, it was huge. It was a blowout. What else did I like? Disenchant and Dust to Dust are absolute houses in the sideboard. There are just way too many decks running around that are abusing artifacts energies. Did whiff on mana. This is 20 lands in a deck that's trying to cast 4 drops. We do have the Ponders, Fairy Seers, and Brainstorms, all of which can kind of help us hit land drops. And Trinket Mage can tutor a land, but it's worth noting that, like last game, we could have used Trinket Mage to tutor a land, but that would have actually been a misplay. If we would have gone for that extra land drop, we would have been unable to deploy our threats in the sequence that we did, and we probably would have, I don't think, lost the game, right? I think that was a difficult game to lose, other than the Electrickery, which came out pretty early, and we fortunately had 2 answers for in hand. But would have been in a much tighter spot, and we would have maybe gotten 2 or 3 more turns out of the opponent. And our board was very soft for Electrickery there, which is something to keep in mind if you want to build this deck for yourself. Board wipes, especially board wipes that give like -1/-1 just to your opponent's creatures. The black one, Suffocating Fumes, and Electrickery are both very, very strong against this deck. They're traditionally strong against Fairies, and we're basically running an additional 4 Fairies with our Squadron Hawks. We do have a little bit of play because the Trinket Mages have bodies. You can resculpt Fairy Seer as it's dying. Raven Inspector and Pal Sentinels maybe stay around. But we're often trading those off in combat anyways, whereas the Fairies and the Squadron Hawks are our main win conditions. Yeah, so excited for the deck so far. Excited for the rest of the league tomorrow. Looking forward to posting some more sweet gameplay videos. Thank you for tuning in.